tonight, overhaul on the horizon.
So we're going to see stricter, provisions for those kinds of folks.
How soon updates to Canada's bail system will go into effect, and why some say the story's not over yet. Also tonight, put on notice.
This doesn't really change our management to it.
Manitoba's top doctor weighs in as the U.S. CDC issues a travel notice for Manitoba, and later, unimpressed voters. What a new poll says about Winnipeggers' enthusiasm, or lack thereof, heading into this fall's mayoral election.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Taylor Brock.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Conversations around bail reform have been front and center at City Hall, the Manitoba Legislature, and on Parliament Hill. After years of debate, changes are coming. CTV's Daniel Halmerson explains.
Stricter bail conditions and sentencing for certain crimes are on the way. On Tuesday, Bill C-14, the Bail and Sentencing Reform Act, received royal assent in the House of Commons. It's welcome news for Manitoba politicians who have been pushing Ottawa to introduce bail reform.
It's all about keeping communities safe, and so, anytime we're talking about violent repeat offenders, we knew that we needed to see changes made.
The legislation makes it more difficult to get bail for a variety of crimes, especially for violent and repeat offenders, by imposing a reverse onus on bail. The changes shift the burden of proof from the prosecutor to the accused. It means they will need to demonstrate why they should be released on bail. The legislation also toughens sentencing for crimes including offenses against first responders and for organized retail theft, something Mayor Scott Gillingham has been vocal about.
This is about safety for the public. It's about making sure that our communities are safer from individuals who have in the past been granted bail, and while they're out on bail, recommitting crime and wreaking havoc in our communities.
But Manitoba Crown Attorney Ben Wickstrom says more resources are needed.
What I would say generally is harsher sentences and a harsher approach results in more litigation. You can double the size of the criminal code if you want to, but if there aren't prosecutors, judges, and defense lawyers to handle that work, you're not going to get very far.
And criminal defense lawyer Chelsea Suderman questions if the Bail and Sentencing Reform Act will do enough to curb repeat offenders.
But until we're ready to fund additional programs and have people accessing more rehabilitative steps while in custody, I don't think this is going to do much.
Daniel Halmerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba Justice Minister Matt Wiebe says the new legislation ties into his government's 5-point bail plan, including an electronic monitoring system and Winnipeg's police services bail unit. Now, to ensure there's capacity, Wiebe says they've hired more corrections officers and a new correction center is being built in Dauphin. We're learning more tonight about a 2-vehicle crash that happened in the St. John's neighborhood. Manitoba's police watchdog says one of the vehicles was stolen and police were following it before the crash. The independent investigation unit says officers decided not to continue pursuing it for safety reasons, but shortly after noon at the intersection of Mountain Avenue and Salter Street, it crashed into another vehicle. The driver of the second vehicle and his 3 passengers were sent to hospital with injuries of, quote, varying severity. The driver of the stolen vehicle left the scene and still hasn't been identified. Anyone who witnessed the crash or has other information is asked to contact the IIU. A registered sex offender has pleaded guilty to assaulting a child in a school bathroom last fall. An agreed statement of facts read in court says Scott William George entered Darwin School on November 27th after being kicked out of Dakota Collegiate. The statement says a 9-year-old girl exiting a bathroom stall was grabbed by a man in black who then put his hand over her mouth. She was able to break free, ran to her classroom, and told staff. Meanwhile, the husband of the school's principal was nearby and spotted a suspicious man in the parking lot. He followed the man to St. Vital Center. That's where George was later arrested by police. Yesterday, George pleaded guilty to all 6 charges against him, including assault, forcible confinement, and breaching prohibitions from a 2023 sexual interference conviction. The Crown and defense lawyers are seeking an 8-year sentence. Now, the date for the sentencing hearing is being set in 1 month's time. Hanover School Division passed a controversial motion this week, giving parents more control over their students' health care and counseling. A group of parents says the wording of this motion may put some youth at risk. Here's CTV's Joseph Bernacki.
Some Hanover School Division parents, which includes the city of Steinbach, are concerned about a recent motion passed by the school board.
It's gross overreach at the very, very least. The purpose, the objective of a school board is to provide direction for the education and the safety of students.
That's the voice of Jane Wilson. She's a spokesperson for the Hanover Parents Alliance for Diversity and a division parent. She says the motion, which makes parents the primary decision makers in school buildings, takes away student health choices.
Whether vaccination or, any other medications for any purpose.
The motion, passed at the beginning of June, states the mature minor category will not be honored in division schools. A mature minor is a 16 to 17-year-old considered capable of making decisions for themselves. Hanover Board Chair Dallas Wiebe declined an interview but sent a statement saying, in part, the board has heard concerns from parents regarding trust, communication, and transparency, and believes these principles are important to maintaining public confidence in education. Wilson says the motion places a wedge between teachers and parents. She says not every youth has a safe home to go to or a parent they trust.
I recognize that there may still be things, as good as our relationship is, that they don't feel comfortable coming to me.
The decision is being applauded by some parents on social media. We reached out to a number for comment, but they either did not want to appear on camera or did not respond before deadline. Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Steinbach.
The Manitoba Advocate for Children and Youth says the motion ignores the rights of young people, adding it is in opposition to the Healthcare Directives Act and the Public Schools Act. Now, Tracy Schmidt, Minister of Education and Early Childhood Learning, says her department met with the Hanover School Division Board and are reviewing the policy. The 2026 Country Thunder Show at Princess Auto Stadium just added a new act after a big star officially dropped out. That's Canadian singer Josh Ross, who's now in the lineup. He's best known for his hit song, Single Again. If you were hoping to see Kane Brown, you're out of luck. The festival announced due to unforeseen circumstances, he's unable to appear at Country Thunder in Winnipeg. Now, festival headliner Bailey Zimmerman is still set to perform, and Coy Wetzel is also on the bill. Country Thunder kicks off on Friday, July 3rd. And here's our first look at tonight's weather. It's currently 12 degrees with a cloudy sky here in downtown Winnipeg. We are seeing pressure rise with humidity sitting at 66%. Overnight in Winnipeg, temperatures are expected to get a little cooler, dropping to a low of 8 degrees. With that sky clearing up, however, winds could gust as strong as 50 kilometers an hour tonight. Tomorrow morning, winds will be a little calmer at 20 kilometers an hour. We'll see a mostly sunny sky with temperatures reaching 11 degrees in the morning.
Every time it's just like, it's devastating.
An iconic bakery burnt by crashes. How much dough dangerous driving is costing a Winnipeg staple? Next. A Winnipeg bakery is calling for safety upgrades because of the number of vehicle collisions outside of its shop. The co-owners of Goodies at Aaron and Ellis say several cars and trucks have smashed into the bakery over the last decade. CTV's Jeff Keel now on the changes a city councillor says could be made to make the intersection safer.
The desserts inside Goodies Bake Shop are a delight, but outside the bakery, it's not always a treat.
Been hit quite a few times, lots of insurance claims.
Co-owner Linda Peters says the Aaron and Ellis intersection, where Goodies is located, is notorious for crashes. But not just between vehicles, some smash right into her business. She says this corner wall has taken a beating over the years. Here you can see pictures of smashed vehicles where the light standard was knocked into the building. One of the more serious incidents in 2020, a semi-truck rammed into the business across the street.
Oh, the building shakes, and the sound is like every time it's just like it's devastating. You're just hoping like, oh, nobody's hurt.
Since 2020, MPI says there have been 224 collisions at Aaron and Ellis, including 20 already this year. Peters is worried about her customers and staff. She wants safety upgrades made to the intersection. Area Councillor Cindy Gilroy has a motion at City Hall to study several options, including a speed limit reduction, red light or speed cameras, and boulevard barriers.
I've been asking for bollards for many years at that intersection. It hasn't happened, but I think there's lots of different things that the city could be looking at.
The city says bollards are not feasible, but improvements have been made here, including making the traffic signal more visible and reducing lane widths to curb speed. Plus, the speed limit is being studied. Peters hopes something can be done. She's had to make so many insurance claims that coverage has been hard to come by.
We were too much of a liability because of the amount of accidents. So I really have to pay a big premium because of the amount of accidents. We're considered high risk.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba's ongoing hepatitis A outbreak is leading to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention officially issuing a travel notice.
We see populations that are increased risk in Winnipeg, those with housing issues, those who use drugs and other substances. And so we really see that outbreak continuing.
The CDC's website issued a level 1 warning related to the hepatitis A outbreak, advising travelers take precautions for safety and hygiene. 4 people have died since the Manitoba outbreak started last year, and cases continue to spread. As of June 4th, 784 cases of the virus have been recorded. And while the majority are being seen in northern Manitoba, 186 cases are among Winnipeggers. Hospital emergency departments are busy places. There are people with critical health problems who need to see a doctor ASAP. But many ERs are seeing other people arrive with problems that can't be solved by medical staff, which is why social workers are working nonstop at HSC. And as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, more of these workers will soon be added to other hospitals.
Not everyone who shows up at the emergency department is seeking care from a doctor or nurse.
Patients will often present to the ED for social needs, such as finding shelter, accessing resources, or requiring transportation to their home communities.
And for people like that, HSC has a team of social workers. They're currently on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, helping people deal with mental health, addictions, or housing challenges. Now, the province will add more social worker positions to St. Boniface, Seven Oaks, Concordia, and Victoria hospitals.
By adding these social workers to the healthcare system, we are providing more opportunities to connect patients to essential and timely resources, which will contribute to reducing emergency wait times.
It's a move supported by Doctors Manitoba. In a statement, President Dr. Alon Altman writes, "Many patients who come to ERs and urgent cares not only have medical concerns, but also complex social challenges, and social workers have vital expertise to support these patients. Physicians have asked for more social work resources in emergency and urgent care departments, and that is why we see the news today of additional social workers as a strong step in the right direction."
For nurses, we're supportive of anything that is going to support our staff in emergencies.
However, Manitoba Nurses Union President Darlene Jackson says it would be better if that support could arrive before they showed up at the ER. Health Minister Uzoma Azaguara says that's exactly what the province is moving toward.
What is foundational is having these experts in the right places so that folks can go from these acute settings back into community and be received in community with the right level of care to prevent them from unnecessarily coming right back.
The total cost of adding the additional social workers to the hospitals is roughly $1.2 million annually. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police are investigating a workplace death in the RM of Stanley. It happened around 3:30 yesterday afternoon at a commercial farming business located south of Winkler. Police say a 68-year-old man from the RM of Rhineland became entangled in machinery. He died at the scene from his injuries. Both RCMP and Manitoba Workplace Health and Safety are investigating. A new survey suggests Winnipeggers are not optimistic about life in the city or the incumbent mayor ahead of this fall's election. A probe research poll found more than 2/3 feel the quality of life in Winnipeg has gotten worse over the past 4 years. Just 15% say it's gotten better, while the rest say it stayed the same, and only 1 in 5 want Scott Gillingham re-elected. Almost 1/2 want to see a new mayor come in, but less than 1 in 10 say a new mayor and council would make a major difference in dealing with the major issues facing the city. The poll was commissioned by the Winnipeg Free Press. 600 Winnipeg adults were surveyed between May 25th and June 8th. It has a margin of error plus or minus 4 points, 95% of the time. Another candidate has thrown their name into the Winnipeg mayoral race. Johnny Calderon is the 8th candidate to register. He describes himself as a comedian, musician, and entertainer. He says his priorities are reducing crime and uniting the city. Winnipeggers head to the polls October 28th. Candidates can register up until September 22nd. Coming up, thespians in a hairy situation. How actors turned a catastrophe into the perfect ending. And mostly cloudy with the sprinkling of rain. We'll show you why you might want to give Dad a new barbecue for Father's Day. Still to come in your Skywatch forecast. Tonight's Skywatch photo gives us a view of a couple of furry friends or foes. I'm not too sure. There's a window between them. Thanks to Benny for sending this one in. You can send your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. Now taking a look over the next couple of days. Bit of a sigh of relief. It's looking quite nice here in Winnipeg, particularly on the weekend, just in time for Father's Day. First, though, some folks are dealing with some rain. We are seeing in northern Manitoba, in both the very far northwest and along the Hudson Bay, as we have been seeing throughout the day, a storm system kind of sticking around, potentially even bringing with it thunderstorms overnight. We are seeing much of the province, though, tomorrow quite cloudy, including here in Winnipeg. We'll watch the system coming in from Saskatchewan, potentially bring in scattered showers or a thunderstorm overnight into very early Friday. In the morning, that could stretch all the way to us here in Winnipeg. However, that system is going to actually push out by the time the afternoon rolls around. So if you are planning on taking an early weekend, it's actually looking quite nice. Taking a look across the province, we are seeing tonight that rain in Churchill with 2 degrees as the high tomorrow. So that means it could be some freezing rain as well for you folks. And as mentioned, precipitation in Lynn Lake tonight and tomorrow with a chance of thunderstorms in Flin Flon and the Paw tomorrow. We're seeing tonight in Brandon, a few clouds hanging around, 19 degrees as the high tomorrow with that rain in the morning, expecting to clear up in the afternoon. We are seeing tomorrow in Winnipeg with a high of 19 degrees and a little cloudy, but it's okay. Just hang out there. We'll see more sunshine coming up. In Kenora, we are seeing temperatures reaching a high of 18 degrees tomorrow. And as mentioned, that sunshine is hanging around for us throughout really the next 7 days with a chance of showers on Friday. As any actor knows, the show must go on. That was the case in Turkey recently when an unexpected actor tried to interrupt the final scene. Now, this stray cat made its way on stage during an outdoor performance of Romeo and Juliet. As you can see, while Juliet was pouring her heart over the body of her lover, this is what happened. The cat was preoccupied with Romeo's hair. The production company says it's not uncommon for stray cats to meander on stage, and actually another one even joined rehearsals. Still to come, FIFA fans love drafts, a beer that is. Canadian pubs are working hard to ensure everyone can score a cold one after patrons drank taps dry. Thousands of soccer fans are descending on host cities and catching many bars off guard by drinking them dry. Here's CTV's Andrew Johnson on the Vancouver pub stocking up after a wild night.
The World Cup is only a week old, but at Vancouver's Dublin Calling Sports Bar, they've already won.
St. Paddy's Day and Super Bowl are kind of our biggest 2 days, and these are crushing those 2 days out of the water. So it's been like having a Super Bowl every single day pretty much.
Out back, dozens of fresh beer kegs are ready to go for what could be a very thirsty crowd tomorrow when Canada hosts Qatar at nearby BC Place.
We have 200 kegs ready to go for this week. I got another 80 kegs coming in the next couple days, so we're pretty stocked up.
They're not taking any chances after what happened on Saturday. A mob of Aussies, hundreds strong, nearly drank the bar dry, downing about 2,500 beers.
We're here to give to the community. It's at 3 p.m. and our game is at 9. We're already started at 10 a.m. this morning on the beers. Boost to the community, mate. That's what we're here for. We're using our taxpayers' money for you, Canada, for you.
The pub had to make an emergency run to restock.
I've never seen that before anywhere. That was like stadium-sized amount of alcohol.
In a pub.
In a pub.
More than one establishment in the U.S. can relate. Rowdy Scottish fans, the Tartan Army drained 2 Boston bars of all their beer, something one of them said had never happened in their 30-year history.
The kicker here in Vancouver is despite the crowds and the amount of alcohol being consumed, police and staff at Dublin Calling say the fans have been great.
No issues at all. Everyone's super respectful. You know, if someone climbs up on a table or something, you just ask them to get down, and they're very kind and do it.
Cheers! Here's to hoping it'll be Canadian fans dancing on the tables tomorrow, politely. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Winnipeg Jets have released its 2026-27 preseason schedule. The Jets open the preseason on the road for the game against the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday, September 19th. They return home for a pair of games hitting the ice Monday, September 21st against the Colorado Avalanche and welcome Edmonton to Canada Life Centre a day later. Preseason wraps up Friday, September 25th in Denver against the Avalanche. The regular season schedule is being announced next month. Jazz Fest is in full swing. We'll share some of the sweet sounds ringing out from Old Market Square and break down tomorrow's forecast next.
Women's clothing provided by R.W. & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Tomorrow in Winnipeg, a little cooler than usual for us in June. We will be seeing a mix of sun and cloud as well. Temperatures reaching 19 degrees at 5 o'clock. Winnipeg International Jazz Festival is in full swing now through Sunday. Tonight's CTV cameras were at Old Market Square checking out Winnipeg's The Sunrunner. You can check out the festival's full schedule on its website. Thanks for watching and good night.
That was 23, our latest release. And this next one is called Feel You All Around.